Hey truckers, we're back on the 61 here today, and today's going to be a starting point when it comes to the front core support mount. So again, this whole front core support mounts on this one cross member. So the cross member has a C50, was a little bit too long, so I've measured inside to inside on the C30, and we're looking at 27¼ inches total. So we'll divide that difference out and subtract this, cut it off. So what we'll do is we'll get this cut down to size here and slide it inside the frame rails, see where it lines up, and get the core support mounted on it with the bushing, and then double check all the cab mount bushings, and from that point we're ready to start gluing it in place. So after measuring on the cross member, we found inside the frame rail width would be 27.25 inches. So the center point out is 13.625 or 13 5/8. So we find our center point in the center of the cross member, measure out 13 5/8, and this is the amount that we need to cut off each side here. So just barely on the top and a few inches on the bottom. All right, let's get this cut. All right, I've got the cross member set on top of the frame rails here. It's too tall to actually fit inside the frame rails, but once it's set in there, it's pretty close. I may have to do some trimming on the edges to get it to twist in place, but overall, I think we're in for a win here. So what I'm doing now is mark this core support as a reference point, clean the rivets out from underneath it, and at that point, I'm going to go ahead and get this cross member set and grafted into the frame. We're back to the point the front clip is disconnected. Let's see if we can get it up and out of the way so we can start working that cross member in there. All right, we've got the front clip raised up. We've got a piece of metal that's supporting the front cross member. I don't really trust hydraulic jacks when I'm working underneath them. So we've got this supported. We've got a few rivets in here that we need to clean out and get that cross member set in, and then we can start setting this thing back down and see what we need to do. Alright, we got the rivets out. Pretty tough and a little tight spot here inside the frame rails. I believe there's 12 that was cut out. I think we're up to about 32 total of the front end. So our next step is to get this cross member here marked and see how much we need to notch out of the corner of it to set inside the frame rail. I've already got the width that we might cut. Now it's just a matter of grafting it in there. It'll sit between the frame rails, and this core support will sit down on top of this cross member with one bushing on top of it. All right. It's really tough to see her in this situation, but it's for the greater good. So next, I'll modify this cross member to fit inside the frame rails, get it bolted in where it sits comfortably, Then we move towards some body bushings.